Hey good people, welcome back to Beauty in the Frizz. My name is Cara. Whether you're new or returning, thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out with me for another one today. Today I am going to be talking about my goals for 2023 regarding my makeup collection, and I'm basically going to be reflecting on my video from 2022 or the end of 2021 where I shared my goals for 2022, if that makes sense. If you want to see what my goals are for this upcoming year, keep on watching this video. Of course, let me know what you think. And if makeup is your therapy and your love, if it makes you happy and you want to hang out with someone that feels the same way, definitely consider joining the community. I'd love to have you back. All right, let's get started. So the last video I did was the Beauty Reflections tag, and that was a tag created by Mel Thompson, and Kelsey Brianna J and Samantha March recently collabed and shared their reflections for the year. We were having a really good conversation in the chat, and my friend Jamie, who's here on YouTube, I am Jamila, she was asking me, was I gonna do a beauty goals video? And I went to see if I did one last year, and I did. And I wanted to look back at that video and see how I made out with the goals that I set for last year, and do I want to modify them or add anything else or just change anything for the upcoming year. So last year there were 7 goals, and I just watched the video today and took some notes, and I'm just going to share my reflections and just add anything in that I feel is relevant. It seems as though a lot of content creators in the beauty space are changing their relationship with makeup and with having a beauty YouTube channel, just based on how the industry is going, based on personal goals, finances, and all that kind of stuff. So I just wanted to put in my 2 cents with how I'm feeling, and hopefully you can relate to this, or it helps you reflect on whether you're a content creator or a makeup lover. So let's get started. Okay, my first goal for 2022 was to change up the content that I watch. And I remember talking about how I wanted to stop focusing on new releases all the time and really focus on technique, application. I started watching a lot of makeup artists, a lot of content creators who were duping the vibes, creating their own palettes, like Lauren Made Beauty, people like that, and just really trying to expand how I do my makeup. One of the reasons why I enjoy watching makeup artists is because it doesn't matter what makeup you have. It doesn't matter if it's the new or the old. It doesn't matter at all. It's all about the application and technique. So I can say that I still do watch makeup artists, but I think that I have started really watching YouTube channels that have nothing to do with makeup. So I have changed up the content that I watch. I was really getting tired of, once there was a release, I just kept seeing the same videos pop up, the same reviews of the same products. You know what I mean? It just started to get old, and I felt like it was just a race to the top as far as who was going to get their review up first. And I knew it wasn't going to be me. I know that this year I did get the first review up for the Pat McGrath Mothership 10 palette. But once content creators who were well known got theirs up, I mean, it completely surpassed my little head start that I had. And, you know, I was down, not at the bottom, but you know what I mean? That's just how it goes in the YouTube world. So, I mean, it's really no big deal. I'm tired of the race to review mentality. It's just not for me. I did write down some of the other content that I watch here on YouTube. I watch meal prep channels. I watch Mel Thompson, of course. I watch a podcast with Angie Martinez. I watch The Breakfast Club. That's like about the hip hop community. I watch teaching channels. Actually, if there's something I don't really know how to teach my students, and I watch the teaching channel together. So that's pretty interesting and fun. But you know, I'm an honest teacher, and I'm teaching 4th grade math for the first time. And when I don't know, I don't know. And that's where I go. And I'm also listening to my Game of Thrones books on Audible. So those are the other things that I watch on YouTube aside from makeup. except for Mel Thompson. I will always watch Mel. And I do watch makeup artists here and there, but honestly not as much as I was doing at the beginning of 2022. Number 2, I wanted to create a makeup inventory, and I did do that. Last year, I had 247 eyeshadow palettes, and this makeup inventory is mostly for eyeshadow palettes and singles. This year, right now, I have about 285 eyeshadow palettes, and I am preparing for a declutter. I'm preparing for more than one declutter because I want to get my collection down. I would love to have half of the palettes that I have right now. I did create a spreadsheet, like an Excel spreadsheet or a numbers spreadsheet on my computer, and I just have it by brand. I mean, it's very simple. What I want to do this year with my inventory is I need to somehow include the color story of the eyeshadow palettes and singles within that spreadsheet. So maybe I will fill it in, like if it's a neutral palette, maybe it'll be brown. The cell will be brown. If it's predominantly blue, it'll be blue. I think that's gonna help me with looking at new makeup releases and figuring out whether I have something in my collection that can dupe the vibes or that's really close to it. And I can inform you all of that in my purchase or pass videos because I really enjoy doing those, and I want to continue with that in the upcoming year, really focusing on the makeup protection program because I can already see foolery in the air and I need to shut it down for all of us right now. So if a predominantly blue palette comes out, I can look at my spreadsheet, look at all the blue colored palette names, and then pull those out, you know, and actually show them to you guys. I think that will be really helpful for me as well. I gave the example about the Lisa Eldridge Cinnabar palette, which I knew good and well I had dupes for that, but I just wanted to try it, and it wasn't enough for me to try the Sorcery palette. I needed to try a 6-pan neutral palette that was $68 that I knew Biba could dupe. That was just me loving eyeshadow and you know, being gung-ho about this new release. Had I brought out those palettes in the first place and really sat down and looked at them, I think I could have talked myself out of purchasing that palette, and now I'm looking to sell it. You know what I mean? It just would have made things a lot easier for me, and the ease is what I'm looking for. So I think tightening up on that spreadsheet is going to be very crucial for me in this upcoming year, and I think it will be helpful for all of us. So last year, my number 3 was to stick to a budget. I did not do well with this year. There were some months where I spent less, some months where I spent more, but I don't feel as though I was as active at tracking. I did continue to use the Cash App card and put money on that card, but I also think that I was frivolous with some purchases. I don't really have a bunch of regrets like I did last year, but I still bought too much. And I would say I regret buying too much, even though I don't have a whole lot of stuff where I look at it in my collection and say, oh, why did I buy that? I had a lot of that at the end of 2021, and I'm glad I'm not having those feelings. I think now it's just being more disciplined, recognizing that I do have goals outside of makeup, and even if I didn't, the amount of makeup that I have is creating anxiety because I can't use it all. And I feel pressure to use certain things, and I may not be in the mood to use them. I was gifted a lot of palettes this year, from Unearthly, from Nomad, from Notoriously Morbid. I was gifted most of those palettes. I may have bought one here and there from Notoriously Morbid and Unearthly, so I just wanted to share that. And none of the brands that gift me palettes require videos. I choose to do them because I know some of you found out about some of these brands from me showcasing them when I was purchasing them, and so I do enjoy being a go-to for those brands and those palettes, especially Notoriously Morbid. There are not a lot of content creators that feature their palettes, so I really do like to do videos on them when I can. So I did have a budget, but I wrote down that I did not sustain my budget consistently. And what I want to do for this upcoming year is try to anticipate purchases that I'm going to want to make. So Pat McGrath, possibly, because that's a whole nother issue, but she'll probably come out with a mothership. She may come out with the bronzers this year. Those are things that I will probably purchase. Adept Cosmetics, I know when they come out with palettes, I'm gonna be interested in those. Odin's Eye, Natasha Denona. I'm not purchasing that mini pastel palette though. So Natasha Denona, I need to really pick and choose which color stories, because Retro Glam, I don't really care for that palette. And I'm really still on the fence about the pastel palette, but I probably could have done without it. I will bring that one back out, especially when it gets warmer, to see how I feel about it a year later. But I don't want to 100% commit to any brand, but I know there are going to be certain releases that I'm gonna want. So trying to anticipate those, I think, will be helpful for me. And another thing that's gonna help me stick to the budget is the makeup protection program, and just using my spreadsheet, my inventory, to compare the new releases to what we already have. All of this stuff, for the most part, has been done. It may look a little bit different. It may be in a different package. It may be by a different brand, but I think it's all been done. So those are the things that I want to do to help me stick to a budget. I know for some people it helps them to stop looking at the releases, and I've thought about that too, like unfollowing brands and all of that. But I really do enjoy kind of the history of makeup. I like that now I can look back 2 years ago and talk about holiday releases and what was going on at the time and histories of brands and things like that. I really just want to work on the discipline of not buying everything that I see, admiring from afar, and seeing what I already have in my collection. My fourth goal was to set boundaries as to what is allowed in my collection. With this, I talked a lot about being picky, being judgmental, deciding if something was worthy of me spending it. I think that's tough to do. I think when you are looking at other content creators, when you're looking at swatches and things like that, it makes you want it. And that's what marketing is. It's easy to fall for that. It's easy to have that fear of missing out, all of that. You know, it's definitely easy. I don't think I did great with this. So I am going to try to set some specific boundaries. And that's something I did not do last year. The boundaries weren't specific. It was like, is something worthy? But I didn't really have a criteria of what makes something worthy to go into my collection. I was just like, is it special enough? What would make something special? Because I can rationalize and make pretty much anything seem special and then buy it. So that didn't work for me. Saying special, these general terms did not work. So for the boundaries, I want to cut out buying highlighters. I know Natasha Denona just released one. It looks pretty. Champagne, looks kind of duochromy in the pan. And I was like, ooh, and I'm like, Cara, no, like you have multi-chrome highlighters. You have every color highlighter there is. I don't even need to pull those out to know that I have it. So I'm not gonna get that. I don't think I need to purchase any highlighters. I was 2 seconds away from purchasing the Victoria Beckham face stick. And I'm like, but you have the Chanel face stick and you have this Lisa Eldridge Elevated Glow. So why do you need another face stick? Why? You don't. Stop it. Oftentimes I'm not even wearing highlighter. And I'm really not wearing much of the powder highlighters. Everything I'm wearing is more like the Elevated Glow, kind of that liquid dewy serum highlighter, or the highlighting balms. I just have no room for powder highlighters or any highlighters in my collection. I put an X on nostalgic releases. Y'all know they have really frosted my cookies this year. You know, my cookies have really been frosted this year with the nostalgia, the Care Bears, the Velveeta, Scooby-Doo, Strawberry Shortcake, Sesame Street, the Muppets. I mean, I could go on and on about the nostalgic releases. I'm not gonna do that in this video because I just can't do it. They need to leave. and I am not gonna be a part of it. I'm tired. I need to set boundaries on the nostalgic releases. I think they're cute for the moment, but how often are we mentioning these collections after the hype dies down? I know the Scooby-Doo palettes were good by Glamlight, and she's about to come out with like a part 2 or something like that, but it's like, are we walking around with the Scooby-Doo lipstick in our purse? Like, I got the Scooby-Doo lipstick. I don't know, maybe people are. I just don't feel like I would. So I've got to cut this out. Some of the makeup looks like it's for teenagers. I'm just done. I'm not into it. I've got to move on. And I love nostalgic stuff. I do. By the way, I know this is a off-brand Supreme shirt. Tyrone definitely let me know that. But when I bought this shirt, I really didn't know about Supreme. So I just wanted to share that. I'll probably have it on in a couple of videos, by the way. I was working out today, actually, which I'm very proud of. I'm leaving the shirt on. Oh. Here's another one. Cut down on indie brands that are using the same formula. I am tired. I'm tired. I'm so tired. Y'all, we are not gonna get sucked up in all of the new indie brands that are coming out every week. There's like 5 new indie brands a week. We are not doing this, y'all. They are using the same manufacturer. You are going to start ending up with the same shades. I learned that the hard way at the beginning of 2022, especially with the all shimmer palettes, and I ended up selling them on Mercari because I was just mad. It wasn't a shade dupe. It was a shadow dupe, 100% the same. And I'm tired. I don't know how a brand is gonna have longevity. I don't know. I know it has to be hard to start a beauty brand. Like, I can't even fathom that process, but I just know there are a handful of brands who are hand making things and just have some uniqueness to their eyeshadow formula. And there are some, I can look at the palettes, y'all. I can look at them and tell, and I know y'all can too. We can look at them and tell them from a mile away. Hi.
Is my 30 minutes up?
Yes, your 30 minutes is up. Did you have a nice nap?
Yes.
Well, that's awesome. I did charge your phone.
Thank God you did.
Do you need some oil in your hair?
No.
Okay. You want to say hi to everyone?
Hi, everyone. Tell them we just got restocked.
August wanted you all to know that we just got restocked, which meant I got groceries because we were really running low. Anyway, don't do it, y'all. Don't do it. We are not falling for the all shimmer palettes. They don't even have to be all shimmer palettes.
Wait, where's my phone?
What? These kids and their phones now, it's just too much. He's about to come back in here for me to pour his snack. So I may have mentioned that I'm gonna be trying Asgard Queen cosmetic. Now that brand is handmade, but it's coming from Russia. So I'm not gonna be able to try that until next year, but I did order the palettes this year. I really am not trying to add any new brands to my collection at all. I just can't do it, y'all. I'm sorry. He did not close my door all the way. Okay, another thing that doesn't need to come into my collection are big palettes. Big palettes like the Norvina palettes, that size. It's just too much. 25 shades, too much. Sometimes 15 shades is too much, but 15 is acceptable. 15 I'm good with, but 20, 25, 30, those carnival palettes, I never bought those and I'm not gonna start. Big palettes are not coming in, setting a boundary, blocking that out. Luxury makeup, y'all, okay. I'm not gonna say that I'm not purchasing luxury makeup. I'm talking about eyeshadow right now. But the luxury makeup is just so overpriced. Now I do like a nice luxury palette at times, but like that Lisa Eldridge palette, too overpriced. Tom Ford, I usually get on sale, but I haven't even been wearing that kind of stuff. So I do like a good Dior quint here and there, but Dior completely dupes themselves all the time. I have 3 Chanel quads. I'm gonna sell the tweed one, but I love my red one, and I did like the holiday one, even though I never did a video on it. I'm gonna keep those 2. I don't need anything else. I really don't. What else do I need? I've tried it. I can compare it. And then the brand loyalty. Like, I have that Pat McGrath loyalty still. I still do. I'm trying not to. But like with the Star Wars collection that I'm still waiting on, I did pretty good with that. Like, I got the 2 small palettes. I really should have gotten the gold one though, but I got that Droid one, the one with the light blue, and the Sith one. And I got 2 of the Chroma Luxe, and that's it. And I felt like that was reasonable, that was good. But the old me, especially like the 2020 me and early 2021 me, I just had that loyalty to Pat McGrath, and I need to stop having that brand loyalty. You know why? Because they're not loyal to me. No, they're not. These brands are not loyal to us, y'all. Like, and we have to keep thinking about that. This is a business. That's why Pat McGrath has the sticker on that mothership, because she was gonna be able to sell it. Not to me, but she was gonna be able to do that. Who have the audacity to think that they could just put a luxury sticker on a sale palette that's been sitting around and people are gonna buy it? Pat McGrath, because people do buy it and it's a business. That's the thing. So we have to kind of take that fanfare. Is fanfare what I want to use? I don't know if that's the right word, but that feeling of like, oh, we're just so loyal, we love them. I gotta get rid of that, y'all. I got to. Now, I love me some Mama Pat, I do. But you have pulled the wool over our eyes, or tried, with that sticker. And I'm so thankful to Monica that she did that reel. I'm so thankful she did that reel. Like, that was amazing. And just the fact that she even ruined, or potentially ruined, her palette to do this PSA for us, thank you. Because I don't know what to say. No brand loyalty, y'all. We can't have it. We can't do it. If something's not right, let it go. If I don't like it, don't buy it. Don't buy it because I feel like I just have to have it all. You don't. And guess what? They don't care that you think Pat McGrath cares that I have every palette? Do you think she cares that I depotted my quads? Nope. She doesn't care. So why should I? Just saying. I can still love Pat, but in the end, I feel like at times I wasn't making the best decisions for myself because I just wanted to be a stand. Absolutely not. Unacceptable. Gotta move on. I'm still on setting boundaries. This is goal 4, so this might be a long one. Get a drink, get a snack. Blush. Okay, Cara, how much blush? How much blush do we need? How many blush formulas do we need? My favorite blushes are like my same favorite blushes from the end of 2020. The Hourglass blushes. And truth be told, this Laura Mercier little cream blush, that's like the best thing since sliced bread, and I do want more of those. I don't need them. But how many more blushes do I need? I have every color. Red, orange, purple, pink, coral, brown. What else do I need for blush? What else do I need? I don't even use a lot of blush because I don't want to look like a clown, because blush really shows up on me. So, I mean, I have a lifetime of blush. I don't need any more blush. I just don't. I've tried every formulation of blush that there is. Now, there may be a special blush that comes out here and there. Like one blush I remember really wanting, 2 blushes I remember really wanting, were my 2 Chanel blushes, the Chains, and then the one from the Comet collection that came out at the beginning of last year that had that C in it. I still love those blushes. I mean, me and the Chains have been going strong for 2 years. You know what I mean? I don't regret that. It was a $70 blush, but I'm getting my $70 worth of that blush, okay? And so much, I really don't need to buy any new blushes because I love that one so much. And the one from the Comet collection is a coral one. I love that blush. But you know what? You know what blushes really took the cake for me this year? Those $30 RMS blushes. So good. Don't need anything else. Those Gucci blushes, don't like them. Talking about some $50. I can't. I don't need any more blush. As I'm sitting here saying don't buy luxury stuff, I might make an exception for one of those Chanel blushes because I know my track history with that from the Chains. Look, we're going on 3 years with the Chains. I have to make a criteria for blush because it can't just be any old kind of blush coming into this collection this year. I mean, I have the Melt Cream blushes. Those were fantastic. I have the blushes that are in my Hourglass face palettes. I have on, you can barely see it, but the Charlotte Tilbury face palette blush. That's really nice. Ooh, I have that Dior Holiday blush. That one was very nice as well. So, you know, I gotta have a criteria. Maybe we can come up with that together. I don't know. you let me know. Let me tell you what else I got. I'm sorry we're still on number 4, but it is what it is. I don't need any foundation, y'all. I barely wear foundation. When I wear it, I'm not wearing a lot. I'm wearing like 4 dots and that's it. You know, I've got to stop this. The last foundation that I bought was the Hourglass. I love it. I love all the foundations I bought in 2022. So let me just use them. The Chanel Tint, the Chanel water one with the granules. I have the Charlotte Tilbury one, Beautiful Skin. That was a little yellow on me, so I haven't been using that. Then I have my Auric Glow Lust. I have the Nars foundation. I have Lisa Eldridge. And I said Hourglass. I don't need anything else. I still have my Fenty Eavesdrops. I don't know what kind of foundations are gonna be released this year that I'm gonna need to try. I really don't, okay? That's that. I need to stop because I did buy the new Dior concealer because that Dior concealer, my friends, was the concealer of the year for me. And I do have a backup in it, but then they changed it to have some transfer proof situation. And Dior with transfer proof, they did well. They did very well with lipsticks this year. So I did buy that. But no new concealers. I tried the Dior in 2022. I tried the LYS, I tried the Huda, I tried the Armani. I still have all of those. And out of all of them, I use the LYS, the Dior, and my Pat McGrath. What else do I need? Nothing. And now I have these 2 Dior backups. So I am set. Like, I do not need to bring in any concealer. These concealers work great. I have a mini of the Nars concealer. So no concealers, y'all. Nope. I want to try the Hourglass one, but I'm kind of set here for life. I need to set a boundary on lipstick. I don't know the criteria yet for that because I'm not going to sit up here and say that I'm not going to buy any lipstick. That would be a lie. But foundation, concealer, no. I don't even use that much of these products. Still on number 4, y'all. I'm sorry, you might have to pause and pick up later if it's too long. Sales. We have to set a boundary on sales, y'all, because I'm telling you, Pat McGrath has taken the cake on sales. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I got on Pat McGrath's website to try to find something to buy. I didn't even participate in the sales. I just kept trying to find stuff. I've tried every palette. I decided to pass on the Essence. Was thinking about Intensifies. Don't really need that. Don't try that. Now we're getting milk. I was saying don't drop that. I'm trying to think of what else. So yeah, I mean, growing the sales. And then the thing about it is, if you weren't planning on buying something from that brand and you buy it, you're spending unnecessary money even though you're getting it on sale.
Why does Tyrone have a Funko Pop on their bed?
Just because he doesn't have any room. We cannot get caught up with the sales. Now, that might be a reason for me to unsubscribe to brands because I don't need all these sales in my life. And some of the Black Friday sales weren't even good. They really weren't. They were not like they were at the end of 2020. These sales were just okay. I was like, what is happening here? But see, what I bought from these end of the year sales was stuff that I had been looking at all year. And I was like, you know what? You haven't been buying singles like that. Let me just go ahead and get this last hurrah out. So there will be a last hurrah. I mean, I'm only human, but as we go into this next year, these sales are just, a lot of them are just cash grabs. These nostalgic makeup releases are cash grabs, y'all. They are cash grabs, and they're playing on our childhood. And it's just not right. I'm tired. Like, remember when Urban Decay had that Prince collection? I don't want to talk about it. Last but not least, I am gonna stop making excuses for bad, fussy makeup. I'm setting a boundary on it. Or makeup that I don't like and they're feeling like I have to use it. That is, I don't know if that's really going with setting a boundary, but I did write this here. The Isamaya Beauty Palette, I'm so sorry. It may be an unpopular opinion. Hated it, too fussy, didn't work well, couldn't get the shades up, had to use too many different brushes. It was just messy, just fallouty. It's just everything that I didn't need it to be. I had to sell it. No more excuses for that. And I'm not gonna be bringing stuff like that into my collection. It's just too much. It's just not practical. Now let's move on. Because that was a whole video in itself about setting boundaries. Number 5, no more pre-orders. That's what I said last year. I did very well with that. So like Glaminatrix, I just couldn't even do it. I was like, you know, this looks nice, but I just can't do it. Like, I'm tired. Adept does pretty well with their pre-orders because they will send things out if they have it ahead of time. Terra Moons, same thing. There are a few shades that I just ordered that won't be able to ship till the 27th, but most of the shades that I ordered were in stock. I really wanted this shade called Blood Moon. I've been looking at it all year long, and I was like, okay, I can get 22% off. I want to go ahead and get that, and that's one of the ones that won't ship right away, but I can wait for that. These like 3-month pre-orders and stuff, kick rocks. I am done. Make the product ahead of time. I'm not in your shoes, but I just can't do it. I'm sorry. And I need instant gratification when it comes to makeup. That's it. I did way better with the eyeshadow singles. I was collecting those eyeshadow singles like pennies at one point, and I can say that I have stopped doing that. I've really enjoyed using my singles for my collab with Kelly and Lockmaiden and Kendra. Love that. I have been bringing my singles out. I even brought some of my liquid shadows out and was using it with like my Lisa Eldridge and just making some nice combinations. I am enjoying that. I love my singles. I want to use them more. They are very special to me, but I was really overindulging, especially when like they would have sales, like Looksy would have sales and they're $2.50, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. But again, you can rack up some real money. Then you got all these shadows and can't even wear them. My number 6 goal was to understand more about ingredients. I am more aware about different ingredients in makeup, but I'm still not as knowledgeable. I think what I've noticed this year in 2022 is the big push on skincare being in makeup, and that's great. But from what I have watched, it's just important to have just good skincare and good skincare routines, good eating habits, good workout habits, and hopefully your skin will follow suit. I do happen to have pretty normal skin and don't have a lot of challenges. So I only know what I know from the experience I have with my skin. But I think that as my skin continues to change, because it's not always going to be the same, I will continue to change products to suit my skin type. But right now, I got a good thing going, pretty easy routine, and I'm just trying to do the right thing with my health so that I have nice skin. So I'm not as knowledgeable about skincare as I'd like to be, but I'm always still interested in learning that stuff, but I'm not making like a huge concentrated effort on that. Number 7, and this was inspired last year by Hannah Louise Poston, was to think about other things that you used to do before you got into makeup. So, you know, focusing on other hobbies. I talked about scouring the internet for things to buy before the end of the year. I did that last year, and I did that just now. I won't say I was scouring though. I was just kind of like, hey girl, do you want to go ahead and get these singles? Because next year, you know, you're probably not going to do it. And then I did. I wasn't really looking. It's like, you know how you just make carts? And I was like, do you want to get a couple of things in this cart or no? And I was like, yeah, like Cleona. I think I bought something from Cleona back in April when they had the bundles of 7. I think they had a sale, and I really, really liked those and love those circle shades. There were a couple of the new stained glass shadows that I really wanted. So I ended up getting the Earth Vibrant Multi-Chromes and then the Christmas bundle with the 3 shades. I talked about that in my purchaser pass. It was $15 and it went down to $12. And then I got 15% off of that, I think. So I was like, oh, that's pretty good. But I had to go through my inventory because I had a bunch of stuff in my cart that I already had. So that inventory comes in handy. And then Terra Moons, I had some shades I've been stalking. So there was that. So I did, I don't want to say I scoured. Like last year I was looking. This year it was like, I had like a wish list and I was like, I'm just going to get some things. I didn't get everything. But some of the other things that are kind of taking, or not kind of, that I want to take priority over the makeup love and enthusiasm is my love for traveling. You all know that I took the boys to Puerto Rico for Thanksgiving, and that was just the best thing I did this year, hands down. And I'm in the process of planning something else for them. I have some workout goals, trying to lose 15 pounds, cooking, Audible, my Game of Thrones on Audible, y'all. I'm reading The Song of Ice and Fire. So Game of Thrones is the first book. I've actually read that book, but I'm listening to it on Audible with my sister. And then we listen to House of the Dragon. It's called Fire and Blood, but it's where House of the Dragon came from, but it's like generations before. And then it picks up where the show is as well. And after that, it's very good. But I buy these books too because I like to read along. I like podcasts, trying to get the boys in more activities. So they're in karate. So, you know, my commitment to that takes up some additional time. I want to start working out after school. That was my original plan, to work out between the time where I get out and the time I get Marky from the bus. So I want to pick up with that. I also signed up for the teacher chorus at work. So I think we're going to have like a spring concert or something like that. We're going to have practice and stuff like that. So I'm really excited to, you know, get into those things a bit more. Maybe watching some more movies, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. Started watching Curb Your Enthusiasm from the beginning. If y'all have not watched Curb Your Enthusiasm, y'all. So Tyrone is into it. So we started back at season 1. And then, you know, Curb Your Enthusiasm went to like season 7 or 8. And then it went off for like 10 years. And then it came back. So I haven't seen any of those new episodes. So we're going to work our way up on that. And that was my last goal in last year's video. So a lot of these still apply in different ways. But the last goal I want to add is to let it go. I need to forget about the money that I spent and think about the space in my home, my physical space, and my mental space, and what do I have room for? What do I have time to do videos? What do I want to focus my videos on? And I have to remember that, Cara, you are not required to do videos with the makeup that you were gifted. I know people may want to see that, but I'm not required to do that. I could put something up on Instagram. I could put swatches up. I could do reels. I could do something else. But, you know, YouTube takes a huge chunk of time, and I want to use makeup that I want to use, and it's not always the makeup that's given to me. That's just the reality. I'm being totally honest. So there's that. I was even talking about decluttering some of the palettes that I've been gifted because I'm just not going to use them. There's certain palettes from brands that I'm gifted and I don't like them. I don't. And it's like, well, do I save them to reference them? Is it worth taking up the space? Right now, I don't have the answer to that, but I need to declutter clothes. I need to declutter makeup, anything that is just not, this is just too much. Like, it needs to go, and I need to stop thinking about the money associated with it. The money has been spent. So whether you sell it to someone, donate it to someone, or it's something that has to be thrown away, if it's just sitting here, it's still a waste. And me looking at it is not making the money that I spent worthwhile. I've been depositing some things because all this packaging is just too much. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll use it in one of my BYOP videos. I don't know like the whole solution to all of this, but I know the goal for me in the end is to have a collection that I enjoy, a collection that I love, that I value, that makes me happy. I don't want to be broke. I want to be able to achieve the other goals I have that cost money, such as traveling and making some home improvements. It's kind of a balancing act, but overall, I just want to have peace. I really want to have that soft life that I can envision, and it is going to involve really wiping a lot of stuff out. And I think out of all the goals, this is the most important one. Letting things go and doing what I feel is best for me. And I think in doing that, I think you all will enjoy that too, because you're gonna feel it in the energy that I put out. And not that I've been putting out bad energy. I don't think I put out bad energy, but you know what I mean. I know this was a chatty video and there were a lot of pieces, but that's just kind of how my brain works, and I took a lot of notes, so I'm hoping that it was presented in an organized way and that it made sense, and hopefully it will get you thinking, if not about makeup, about anything that you want to change in your life. And oftentimes I feel like there's so many things that I want to do. I'm thinking about it so much that I don't move at all. This is kind of a way for me to chunk this and tackle one thing at a time. There's a lot that's on this list that I kind of need to get more specific with. For instance, how do I decide if a blush is special or lipstick is special or something is worth it? You know what I mean? I can think more about that later. But just having the plan, you know, is a good place to start. And just me monitoring my feelings. And a lot of this is how something makes me feel. You know what I mean? So I know right now I'm in a place where I see things that need to change. And I'm really gonna do my best to kind of take some more steps forward. I think last year was a pretty good start, but still have a lot of work to do. And you know, that's what life is. Like, I don't think you ever arrive, you just keep going. So if your year hasn't gone the way that you wanted it to regarding makeup spending, I know mine didn't. Regarding bringing things in your collection, I know mine didn't. You know, as I always say, be gentle with yourself and use that to propel you forward in making more strides to achieve your goal. But we can help each other and be a little accountability family. And I think we'll be able to, you know, get closer to our goals. So thank you so much for taking out some of your time and hanging out with me for another one today. I hope this was therapy for you. It always is for me. And until I see you again, make sure you are being gentle with yourself. Talk to yourself nice, stay safe, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.